Hello, guys. Good evening. Welcome to the show. I'd like to talk to you today about this project that I have been working on since the COVID-19 outbreak started. I hope everybody is doing all right in this situation. I feel like I just need to do something when I have free time, so I decided to make this just for fun. So, to build this project, I have considered three platforms to be used. First is Ionic with Angular front end. Next is React Native and Xamarin. I picked the Xamarin because of the MVVM pattern. And it's not the first two options before are not great. I have also checked them out. But right now, for me, C Sharp is the best language. And when you study design patterns, I think this is the go-to language when you really want to study about it. So let's start. So before I start the demo and the coding structure of the project, a quick disclaimer here. All applications or resources involved in this video is used purely for research, development, and educational purposes only, nothing more. So let's begin. So I have three opened applications on the desk right now. This one is my real actual physical device, and right here is my Visual Studio, wherein our code resides. And finally, right here is our main application, where our app made with Xamarin to feed the data. So that's it. So let's start for the application. So I will run the application now and it will run on my actual device. This is my physical device right here. So I'll just stop the debugger here in my Visual Studio so that we can actually run the application without Visual Studio needed. So I will log in. And after you logged in, you'll be welcomed by a page with navigation options. So you have the sales, customer item, report, settings, log out. And when you click the hamburger icon right here, you have also the same options in our navigation page. So let's first examine the customer page. So you have the customer here. You can add a customer, for example, mine. Is You can leave it just like that with reward, and you must lock it so that we can see that in our sales on the future. So we can save now. So to prove that we have saved the customer, let's just type the name. So it seems that we have actually inputted the same name in the customer. So let's delete this last so it will not repeat. So now, if we search again the Erwin keyword, there's only one record left. So that's it for the customer. Okay, so let's head over to the item. So what behavior did you do in your customer can also be applied on the items page. So you can also add the an item. For example, I have the Milwaukee, or shall we say MW jersey. And I don't like to type the barcode, so I have here an example of a barcode. I will just use this one. All right. So after that, I will type description. Let's all capitalize it. Milwaukee, a box. No, Jersey. Is that the spelling? You can leave the alias as is. We can add a category, for example, clothing. Let's leave it as non-VAT and locked. And for the others, the cost would be 199 mark up per 10%. Stock level quantity, let's get it to 10. And also you have here our remarks area. Where is the keyboard? Okay. What's interesting in this remarks text field is you can add designs. Like for example, this is for men's only. And when you click the for men's only there of the men's keyword there, you can decorate it with sort of things like the background for green. You can also have it bold, italic, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So let's just save it. So now that it has been saved, you can go back, and to search that, you can always go to the search bar there and type a keyword. There you have it. Okay, that's for the item. Okay, so let's head over to our main feature of the application, the sales. So right now we have no data to preview. So let's just add a record. So now let's test our barcoding feature. So let's click the barcode icon there and just scan the barcode. And you'll be prompted by the item details, the quantity. You can also have the discounting. You can have the variable discount. And now that it is a variable discount, you can now change the discount amount. And this will directly manipulate the net price of the item. So when I say just one amount, you notice that the net price here is changed. So let's just click the OK button. And also, let's add another item. Like for example, you have the black ball pen here. And you can also have the 50% off. So when you click that, you cannot edit the discount amount, but it will manipulate the net price. So let's just click there. And again, let's add another item. Add again another item. Let's add another item. Okay, let's just focus on the ball pen black item there. When I click the ball pen black item there, and for example, I would like to change the quantity to 2 or 3, maybe, and okay, you notice that the quantity of the ball pen black has turned into 4. So That's it. You can change the quantity. If it finds a similar item in the list, it will automatically add that quantity to the ballpen black and automatically calculates the amount of the black ballpen item. So again, let's add another item, the Kimball. And now you see the previous button and the next button. So the explanation about this is that the items that have punched in the line items are over the limit, which is 5. So as you can see, when you click or when you press the next button there, you will go to the other page of the line items because the page size of the line items is set to 5, and we can change that later. So we can change that. Oops, you notice that there's a prompt there that the record has been changed. So we cannot exit the page without saving it. So let's just click no and save the page. So this the items are saved now. So when you go to the settings, you see that the lines or the page size is set to 5. So we can adjust that and make it 8 and go back to the sales. And when you click back to the sales item, you notice that the next and the previous button has gone. So that's the power of the paging. So let's go back and set it back to 5. So let's add again another sales. And you can also change the items there. For example, I would like my name inputted in that. You can also change the date, but we'll leave that as is. For example, I will go to service charge, add another item. I also want the Kimball. Maybe not Kimball, so I will just delete that. So we can also delete a line items also. 17. All right, let's save that. And while I do this, you can also notice that in our main application, we have also added it. What's on our mobile is reflected in the sales application also. So let's add again to preview it in real time. Service charge. Let's change the customer to another name, for example, Jacob Taylor. And while you scroll there, there is also a feature that you can search an item if the size of the or the amount of records are very huge or I mean large. So you can also type the die yung something. Let's pretend that the items are very large. So let's type the keyword something. So you can just select that. You can also have the senior citizen, and it will automatically calculate the net price and the amount of your line items. But you cannot. This these fields here are disabled except for the quantity, the net price, and so on and so forth. Okay. You can also have the vatting, but right now I will not just discuss that. So let's just save it. So now that we have saved that, you can also see that our main application here has captured the latest sales invoice. And also, if the tender wants to tender the sales invoice, he can go to the main application and just click the tender button there and type. So, is the printer ready? Yes. All right, for example, two. Save. And you'll notice that it will create an items also because that's the way it is when you are in the main application. So let's just delete that for the sake of demoing. And you will notice also that the line items are green colored. So when you refresh the page here in our application, you notice there's a peculiar icon there and a sales invoice number popped up. So when you click that one, you cannot save or delete the sales invoice, and you cannot also add line items. See, no matter how I press the buttons there, it will not respond right here. So let's tender this one, the walk-in. Let's just edit the to 700 tender. Let's just click the no. So it has been tendered. Let's delete the new the new invoice created. Yes. So when you again refresh the sales list, you'll also see that it is now disabled. The controls are now disabled. The only buttons that you can click is the next page and the previous page. So that's it. And you can also see that when you add an item there and go back, it will prompt you that the record has been changes. The record has been changed. So it will not say when there is when the state of your invoice has changed. So that's it. You can always delete an item there and you can always save. And just like that, you can also backtrack some of your invoice. So let's go to the June 30. Notice also the icons, it also changes. So that's the power of the MVVM application. So that's it for the sales invoice. Thanks. So after we discuss the customers page, the items page, and the sales page of the application, now we are ready to view the reports of the mobile POS. So you have there two items in the reports page. Right now we can click on the sales report by customer in a month. So as you can see, you have the customers and all the items that have been punched in that customers, and this is the total of each of the items per customer. So you have this text, the orange colored text that has a star. It denotes the rankings of the customer in this month. So the lower the number of your of the lower the number, you are you have the highest amounts of sales in that particular month. So as you can see, the walk-in has the most or the has the largest amount of sales on this month of July. So you can also click another month, for example, June, and press the OK button. You can see a different list of customers on the particular month. And you have also this sales chart. This report is under construction as of now. We can talk about what the controls that I have been using in these reports. So that's for the reports. Now let's head over to the settings. And in this page, this is basically a simple page with an SQLite database data source that is created on the first login of the user. And this is where we store our current settings of the applications. Now you can see the current user, which is the administrator, the last login date, and the API server address. So right now our API server resides on my PC. And if the time comes that we need to deploy our entire system on the real world setup, we can easily migrate our database and API to a proper server type PC that can handle multitudes of concurrent users, or even better, we can migrate it to a proper cloud solution like Smart ASP.NET or Azure and the likes in just a blink of an eye with no backlash or caveats. As of now, we can run our mobile application in the internet using this application here for demo purposes only. So let's head over to the API application, and this will forward our API to the internet. So let's just copy this one. So it's copied on our clipboard, and I can just delete the server API, paste, and put the name of my API server. So we just we just save that, and we can now go back to the login page or log out, and let's pretend that we are not in our network. We are outside the building, and we use another router to log to go to the internet. So I'll type the password again. So if I log in, so you can see that you have this information that is posted on this console on this command prompt. So the sales here, all right. So you have no records because it's 12 in the morning. You can also go to our customers. It will download the data. All right. So that's it. The item. So this is the internet right now. And the command prompt will capture all the APIs that we've called while we're running the mobile app in the internet. So that's it for the demonstration of the mobile POS application. It's really great, and I hope in the future we can add the collection feature and make our mobile POS application, a full-blown point of sales app that has the ability to stock in, which is very easy now because we have the setup and all. We have the coding, we have the which we'll discuss on a minute. So now that we have set up the coding structure, this is very, very easy for me to add another feature because I have now the template on all of the items that we will be that will be added into the coding structure. So that's it. And I think I can finish this in a month or a week if I will just work it out. So thanks for sticking on me and have a great day. Thanks. Okay, so let's talk about the coding structure of our application. Let's go to our solution, and you'll see that there are 5 projects listed in the solution explorer. So let's focus on the mPOS.web API project. In that project, you have a bunch of folders that are listed also. And for me, the most important folders here are the repository folder, the mapping folder, and the controllers folder, and also the data folder. So this one is the main, or shall we say, the bread and butter of our API. All right. So let's go. So first thing that I would do is to debug our application is to bypass our login screen and go to the settings page and make sure that our server is pinpointed into the IIS Express that is running in our unit so that we can debug whatever method that we can debug when we start clicking in our application. So let's confirm that we have the correct API address. So now I think this is matching. So let's just save that, all right, and log in into the application. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, log in, and we successfully logged in. So when I click this sales, let's go to the controllers first, the RN sales controller, and have a breakpoint here in this location. When we click the sales menu option, we can see that our breakpoint or our stepper is going into our breakpoint here. So if we step on the codes, you see that the method creates a new or creates a variable that will store the TRN sales class, which is residing into the repository. This will manipulate the data that we'll get on this folder. This one, this is the data access layer right here. So when we step in that line, let's choose this F11. We'll be going into this method that will accept a filter parameters. This is the value of your filter, and this is the methods of your filter. These are the list of methods in your filter. So when we examine this parameters, you can see that it has 2 records of filter methods. So the first method is the sales number, and the operation is contains. So that is this one, search. And the second second record is the sales date and the operation is equals. So the filter is just a model of our TR and sales table. So whatever the user inputs on the UI screen, it will be captured here. The values will be captured in this variable. And as you can see, the sales number in here is, where's the sales number? Sales number. Okay, the sales number is null. So the filter is just for the date of the TR in sales. So sales date, where's the sales date? All right, here. So 7/8/2021, 12 a.m. Now, when we go further to the execution of the codes, you can see that it will create also a mapping profile variable that will transfer the data from this context here and put it into its destination, which is the IEnumerable Poco.tr in sales result. All right. And that is the return type of our method, which is bulk read. So let's go further. All right. Now we have the using keyword there. We create the context and we'll determine the filters if it is null or not. If it's null, then it will execute here. But if the filter parameters are not null, it will process the filter parameters. And I will not discuss this one by one because this would take us a day if we will continue to discuss this in details. So let's just continue. So it will now process the filter and convert it into an expression. And you'll now see that you have this data that will be transferred into this result variable now. So let's continue. Now the result would be this type. And that's it. So now if you continue that, all right, let's again continue. Sales, sales, and continue. So you have that data. What if we filter our invoice, for example, 19? What will happen to our data now? So as you can see, it now captures only one result on our list result. So I think that's it. And the mapping procedures are found in this mapping folder, and you can try to examine that also. You can see that we have the normal Normal mapping, which is this one. The source is the TRN sales, which is our data access layer, and the destination is our model, or shall we say the data transfer objects. And you can also map the members of that model, for example, the TRN sales line for members, destination, which is the TRN sales lines in the context to the data transfer object TRN sales line, child property. And you can see you can also reverse that when you call the save method of our API. So this you'll now see that you have the POCO or this our DTO object and transfer it to the context. All right. So that's it for the um, web API, and next we will discuss on the Xamarin project. So that's it. And for more information or for more uh, what do you call this? For more information, you can just visit this GitHub page and examine all the codes for your own. So that's it. Thanks for sticking in with me. Thanks. Okay, so let's discuss the Xamarin project, which is called the MPOS V2 project type. And before that, I will just quickly introduce you this project also. This is has also the same importance of the previous project that we have discussed. So if we go there and you can see this wrapper file name, this has classes that is directly correlated into our database structure. So if we go to the database and you have these tables here, every table has a corresponding models and it is located here. So we can easily generate this models here by using some of the tools that is found in the internet. For example, this entity framework reverse POCO generator. This is very helpful in generating POCO classes or DTO classes. DTO means data transfer objects that will be processed in our application. So that's it. And you can also provide an extension. That's why some of these classes here, like the MSD customer, like the MSD or the TR in sales, these are all partial classes that can extend its properties. So let's go to the MSD customer extension. You get the initials also. And if we go to the customer page, continue, you'll see this WI. It means that this is the source of that value is here in the initials. All right, if you get what I mean. So let's go to the sales. So when we click the sales, you can see that it pinpoints to the breakpoint that we have added into the file. So before that, I will just quickly show you the structure of our view model. our application is designed in an in model view model design. So as you can see, we have this initialize region here, which will initialize all the datas that needed to present to the UI. So if we step over to the codes here, we have this method here, the task.run. The purpose of this method is to call the methods that is residing in this services folder. So if you, okay, so let's just step over. And this is basically an asynchronous method. So the Xamarin app is asynchronous type project. All right. So if we click the continue icon there, it'll be redirected to this method here in the API request. And you can see it's also a generic method. You can pass any kinds of type here, and it is asynchronous and static. So this is very comforting to have this method because you will not type the classic way of typing. So you have the route. You can see the TR and sales bulk get, and the arguments, the TR and sales filter. So step over. It will access the UR request URI, which is saved in our settings local table. And also it will handle client certification when it is needed. So right now it's creating an HTTP client variable. It will serialize the parameters to get the request. And now it will get the response. Read it as a string asynchronously. And it will now deserialize to the POCO TR and sales model. So this is a POCO serialize, and and this is the formatting of the date because the C sharp has a way of structuring the date time formats or the date time properties. So it will handle that this one. So let's continue. And now we have the result, which is 2. And it will directly put it into the sales variable, which is of type observable collection, which means we can directly notify any changes on a UI to this properties here, to this single property here. So that's the loading of datas or the gathering of datas within the web API. So enough for that. I think that's a self-explanatory. And you have also this collection change, an event that will determine if the collection has added or the collection is changed or deleted. So that's it. And this will also notify us that okay. As you can see, okay, let's continue first. So when I add Or when I add a certain invoice here. All right, let's continue and add some items. You will notice that when I click this back arrow button, there is a message there. That is the indication that our invoice or our collection has been changed. So that is basically the job of this event there here. Where's that? Sales view model here. And we have the pager also. You can directly browse our code in our GitHub page to get more information about that. So that's it. So let me just yes this. All right. So let's continue. Now I will quickly introduce some of the important properties here to note. So we have this sales property, which is of type observable collection TRN sales. That's great. And we have also this property, selected sale, which basically improves our life because there's no need for creating an event or creating a code behind. If you write the code behind, it's more of a choice now. So as you can see, when we view our views, like for example, tier and sales item like that, you cannot see any code in any of our code behinds here, except for the tier and sales detail, which is a bunch of codes. But mostly, all of this code behind is it or has a little to none code behind additions, if you get what I mean. So that's basically it for our view models and the views also. So you have also we have also the property change tracker that will track any events on this one. So that's it. We have also the utilities for converting any JSON values. And that's basically it for our view model. So the important thing here is the sales variable and the selected sales. All of the things are just spices. And you have also this command properties here that will control the adding, the deleting, the barcoding, the all this stuff here. And it is directly binded into our, for example, the sales detail view. Wait a minute. Find a button. Let's find a button. Some of it are have uh, has native event handler, and some of the button here, like for example the sorry, I'm sorry, the add but okay, the toolbar buttons. So you have the command, the save command, the delete command. Let's view the same. So this here. All right. So you can browse the code and understand how that works in our link here in this link. All right. Thanks for sticking with me, and I think that's all. So thanks.